Hey, it's Kendall and this is 90 Church. Before we start, if you haven't done so already, please follow us on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube so you can catch our next episode. So we're in a series called Foundations, and it's all about developing foundational habits that will help us flourish as followers of Jesus and as a church. And this week we're continuing with the habit we looked at last week, which is the habit of being generous. Now, on Tuesday, Zach talked about why we are to be generous as followers of Jesus, and today I want to talk about how. So listen to the Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians 8, verse 7. He says, "Since you excel in so many ways, in your faith, your gifted speakers, your knowledge, your enthusiasm, and your love for us, I want you to excel also in this gracious act of giving." Now notice two things here. First of all, according to Paul, the pastor who wrote this letter, being generous is just as important as having faith in God and loving other people. Amazing, isn't it? And that is because, as Zach reminded us, it is God's heart to be generous. It's who He is. And so as we become more like Him, we should also become more generous. Okay, that's the first thing. Second, though, notice that Paul assumes there's a learning curve. He says, I want you to excel. In other words, I want you to learn how to get really good at being generous. And that's good news because generosity does not come naturally to most of us. At least for me, it must be intentionally cultivated and practiced. And as with everything else, the more you practice, the better you get. So, how do I become a generous person? It's actually pretty simple. By being a generous person, specifically by giving out of what God has given me. Best place to start, give to your church. Money, give your church. Scripture suggests 10%. Now, if that makes you want to throw up, okay, that's all right. Start smaller, but do start. And then after that, well, look for the opportunities that God brings across your path. I have a friend who told me that his generosity goal, that's right, he actually set a goal. His generosity goal is to perform one act of generosity every day. It doesn't have to be this big, huge event. It just has to be something, anything. And you know what? That's not a bad idea. You become a generous person by actually being a generous person. So get out there and practice. We'll talk to you soon.